he's going to make it safe for me to drive and operate, but I gotta be able to afford to do the job also.
Certainly.
So I have to balance that all.
I don't think a lot of people ask this question enough. And when you get your receipt, everything is itemized on the receipt. What a car part cost, what the labor was. And the labor is not decided by you, by the way. People think, the mechanic decides how long the labor is going to be. No. The labor it used to be that way. Now it's a standardized hourly rate for whatever you're doing. And they know it's so good because they know how the cars are put together.
Right.
So they know what it takes to take stuff apart. You get people who go, but what are these shop fees? I always see that on my receipt. Shop fees. Explain to people why shop fees are necessary.
Okay, so here's the thing which we call shop supplies.
Right.
Okay, so when you come, even if you're coming in for an oil change, okay, I have a company that comes in, picks up all of our waste oil.
Yeah, you don't pour it in the ground. Somebody comes and gets
it. That's right. Years ago, buddy, it all went out
the ground.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I remember. My dad had 55-gallon drums that may or may not leak that sat behind the stations, and that's where the oil went.
That's where they went. I mean, that's just what we all did. We didn't know no better. Yeah. This is like a pregnant woman smoking cigarettes.
Right, 100%.
We just didn't know any better.
Right.
So now we got.
He would lubricate car parts with that used oil and everything.
I mean, rags. You can't take a rag, wipe off oil, and just you got to do something with that rag.
Right.
So car and a lot of the chemicals that we use to clean things, the carburetor cleaners, the brake clean, the rags, the oil filters. It costs me basically $2 when you come in for an oil change. I'm basically paying about $2 to process an oil filter to get rid of it.
Because it's got to go somewhere. It's full of oil. It's got to go somewhere.
Well, we got to drain the oil. We got to crush the filter. We got to put it in a container.
In like a biohazard container, basically.
Exactly. And then I got a company that comes in, takes all that stuff, and hauls it off, and charges me for doing it. They don't do it for free. So what we've just, I guess, what the industry basically came up with and just says, why don't we just charge a shop supply? Otherwise, I don't have to charge for the rags and the brake cleans and the carb cleans and the disposal of the oil filters and da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's a percentage of whatever the bill is up to a maximum amount of money. So if you get a $3,000 engine job, you're going to spend an X amount of dollars. But if you get an oil change, you're only going to spend $1.32 or something. So it's all based on what we're doing.
But it's there to cover the cost of all the waste and all the materials that you take off of cars that can't just be thrown out back anymore.
Right, can't be thrown out back.
I mean, there was always the bumpers and brake shoes. We would see who could throw brake shoes the farthest as little kids. They'd be out in the back in a pile. Because the metal guy, some guy my dad would have, he'd come and he'd pay my dad $30 to get all his metal and everything, because he'd go cash it in somewhere. I don't know how it worked. But we'd sit out in the back and throw brake shoes. Back when they had brake shoes, now everything's brake pads. But you can't just have stuff piled up behind the station anymore.
You can't do that anymore. And we still do have like cores and stuff, and we have core guys that come in, but we have but all the hazardous waste.
Batteries used to be the worst. Batteries, we'd have a battery mountain in the back of the service station.
So if you come in and we put a battery in, okay, I have to pay the state of Florida $1.50 for every battery I sell.
For the core.
That's a solid waste tax.
Right.
So I have to pay them. No, I don't. I just pay them a tax.
Oh.
The state doesn't do anything with the battery. No. They just charge me a tax for selling one. And then I have to pay the guy to come in.
The core guy to come get it.
Come get the batteries and then I have to pay on the 20th of every month. I have to pay a solid waste tax. So it's $1.50 for every battery. It's $1 for every new tire sold. So every tire I sell, the state doesn't do anything with the tires. They don't do anything with the batteries, but I pay a tax to.
Remember back in the day when you would adamantly scan every tire you changed, because you'd have the 6 or 7 racks of the used tires that you would sell like hotcakes. Those days are no longer.
No, we can't even sell used tires anymore. I can't, and I won't because of insurance reasons.
Well, you have no idea where those tires have been, how much wear and tear have been on them. Once I became an adult, and when I mean an adult, I mean in my 30s, when I understood that you can't cheap your way out of things and everything. Because when you're in your 20s, you're still worried about make sure you got enough money to go out on Friday night, take the girl out and everything. So if you get a used tire for $15 that may or may not blow out on you on the interstate, or don't go on a date, you bought a $15 tire.
Right, exactly.
But once I became an adult, I learned that buy new tires.
Yeah.
Don't buy used tires.
Don't buy used tires.
Buy new tires. Now, there's some, speaking of aftermarket or off-market, there's some very good quality aftermarket tires out there. You don't have to go spend the $1,500 on BF Goodrich or something like that.
Right.
And by the way, Goodyear and all these companies, they make some of these lesser priced tires that are still really good. Because on my Cadillac right now, I have 4 tires that didn't cost me near what a Goodyear radio would cost me. But when you look on the inside of the tire and the stamp, who it manufactured by Goodyear. So I'm riding a Goodyear tire. It's just not one that says Goodyear stamped on it.
Right.
And that happens a lot nowadays.
That happens an awful lot. Matter of fact, we service all the vehicles for one of the funeral homes here in town, and they came to me and said, if our vehicle needs tires, that we are asking that you guys put Westlake tires on our cars. And so I didn't know about Westlake at the time, but that made me interested. And you'll know once you get to really know me, you'll know that I get, like, if I hear something or someone says something, I try things and I experiment with things. So I started investigating Westlake, and come to find these are tremendous tires. And you can probably
West who? I've never heard of.
Westlake.
Never heard of.
Yeah, never heard of. But this funeral home is the one that turned me on to them. That's what they put on all their vehicles, and so how do I know if a tire's good or not? I can do all the reading and whatnot, but when I get that tire and I put it on the wheel and I mount it and then I put it on the balancer, when that tire only needs 3/4 of an ounce or 1 ounce of weight to make it balance,
that's a good tire.
That's a good tire. When it needs 14 ounces of weight, we're gonna throw that one in the garbage and go get another one.
And by the way, you could have a BF Goodrich or a Goodyear or a Hanook, any of those tires that need 7.5, 8 ounces because it just something at the factory wasn't right.
And it wasn't right.
People think that just because it says Goodyear on it, that makes it quality tire. Well, ask NASCAR racers how good some of them Goodyear tires they get are.
We have nicknames for tires. You know what I'm saying? We see all kinds of stuff. So
is that the number one expense though? After the maintenance of oil changes and all, are tires probably the most recurring event purchase?
I don't know if it'd be tires, because tires will go. So, tires will last pretty, and we have such.
Wait, no, you mean they last longer than if you buy a 30,000 mile tire? They last longer than 30,000 miles.
They can. If you take care of them, they will take. It's just like anything else. You take care of it, and it'll take care of you, right?
Yeah. What's a good rule of thumb? And I'll tell you my rule of thumb, and you tell me if I'm right. What I do is with the Cadillac, it's 5,000 miles on the oil change. Every other oil change, I rotate my tires.
There you go.
Is that?
That's it.
That's perfect.
That's easy.
And if I do that 30,000, and it's a 40,000 mile tire I got. But if I rotated every 10,000 miles, I think I could probably get 55, 60,000 miles out of it.
Sure can.
And that's 3 years.
Proper air pressure in the tires and keep them rotated, and that you're going to get the most out of the tire that you can get.
Well, now with these computers telling you, the Cadillac, if it gets a pound and a half to 2 pounds off of where the other 3 tires are, it'll show up and say, but I check about every 4th or 5th time I get in the car, I just press the button and make sure it's supposed to be 35 cold for these tires. And if it's 34 or 36 cold, if they're all, that's good. But if it's 37 or 38, let air out. If it's 31, 32, go put air in it.
That's right.
And that's what you mean by taking care. You don't mean get out there with the tire shine and make sure they look good.
No.
That's what a lot of people say. I take care of my tires. Every time I go get it washed, they put the tire shine on it.
Yep. And how many times? Okay, so do you really go out and do that? You really? I'm on. We're on there.
Do I?
We only have 13 listeners, by the way. So
do I change my tire?
No. Do you
rotate them?
No. Do you go out there and actually check the air pressure?
No. What I do is I use my computer.
Okay.
About once every 4 or 5 times I get my car, I press it and look at the computer before I crank the car to see what it says when I turn it on, so the power's there, and then I see what the car tells me my air pressure is.
All right. Okay.
Oh yeah, I do that because I don't want to spend $600-700 every year and a half, 2 years because I ruined tires.
Right.
I learned. If you ease on the gas pedal instead of slamming on the gas pedal, your tires don't spin as much. They last a little longer. And if you ease on the brake and you use hills to help you slow down and everything, it's amazing how wear and tear on your tires and your brakes reduce. And like I said, once I became an adult, which basically means once I started having to pay for everything my damn self, I took care of my car, and I wear Wrangler jeans instead of Lucky jeans, because Wranglers cost $16.95 a pair at Walmart, and Luckies are $120 in the mall.
Right.
So,
I get you.
So no, I do. I make sure. My dad taught me, and this was back when cars 100,000 miles was a long life for a car.
Okay.
In the 70s and early 80s, you got 100,000 miles out of a car, you were doing pretty good.
Right.
My dad said you do three things. He says you make sure the fluids in all your areas that need fluids, your oil, your transmission, your rear end, stuff like that, you make sure it's greased and stayed lubricated good and changed on a regular basis. You take care of your tires and your air pressure. And you make sure that you don't use garbage gas all the time.
Yeah.
And your car should last you longer than most.
Yeah.
Just doing, and that sounds very simple, but that will help it go a long way.
Yeah. And fortunately now, the oil and the gas part of it, the government came in and regulated things so much now that, gas, the old. It's kind of like what you were talking earlier about the milk at the dairy farm.
Yeah.
Gas. Because
back in the day, gas was, you could get 6 different service stations all get the same gas.
Well, I had a service station next to Morrison's up on the boulevard back in the day, and we got our fuel out of Tampa.
Right.
And we watch all the trucks pull up to the depot. They get all filled up, go on down. But it was what they added after they got the gas that made the difference. But there's no difference,
No. Gas is gas.
Gas is gas.
Gas is gas.
And then they start adding alcohol to it, and that really is what hurt it more than anything, is adding ethanol to the gasoline. So
when you hear people say, you got like my Cadillac, I don't use full synthetic. I use a blend in my Cadillac.
Right, okay.
Now the Cadillac called for full synthetic.
Right.
It costs that. You hear people say, no, you got to have full synthetic or it'll damage your engine. Is full synthetic versus conventional motor oil or versus a blend? What makes the difference, or is there that much of a difference?
There really is. We use, like for our full synthetic, we use Schaefer oil and only. If you want to bring something to my shop, I'll put it in because it's yours. But if you're bringing it to me, we're going to put Schaefer's oil in it because I believe Schaefer's oil is probably one of the best oils on the planet. So we use a synthetic blend as our regular, normal, everyday oil.
Right.
Now, our synthetic blend is coming 80-20. 80% synthetic, 20% conventional. But here's the deal. So back in mid-'90s, Chevrolet came out with their trucks. And we started developing, I worked for GMC at the time, and we started having this cold morning crank knocking sound. And basically what happens is if this is a piston, right, you know what a piston is, do you have a skirt on the piston, the side of the piston? What GM did was they shortened the skirt, which allowed the thing to rock inside the cylinder wall, causing it a knock. But with synthetic oil, straight synthetic, the Mobil 1 that GM went to, the knock went away. So apparently it does make a difference.
Certainly.
With conventional oil, knock. Synthetic oil, no knock.
Right.
So that proves that it does do something.
Matt Gibbs of Sunrise Auto. He's in every Tuesday morning with us, enlightening us on anything and everything that has to do with automotive. Matt, thanks for coming in, and I'll see you next Tuesday.
Not next Tuesday. I got to be out of town, but I will.
Oh, you're out of town next Tuesday?
Yep.
Well, we'll probably run something of your voice.
All righty, let's do it.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. Oh, I need to shut everything off so you don't hear some random commercial play. WOCA, The Source.
Studios. This is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Why constipated with belly?
USA Radio News with Lance Pride.
The Senate's 52-48 confirmation vote shortly after 8 p.m. Eastern on Monday has put Amy Coney Barrett into the Supreme Court. Republican Majority Leader Mitch McConnell called it a great day for America. Democrat Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer cried foul.
In the selection of a Supreme Court justice because an election was 8 months away. Those same Republicans are preparing to confirm a justice with an election that is 8 days away. In the process, the majority has trampled over norms, rules, standards, honor, values, any of them that could possibly stand in its monomaniacal pursuit to put someone on the court who will take away the rights of so many Americans.
The difference 4 years ago, the Democrat White House was up against a Republican majority Senate. USA Radio News.
Do you have health or energy challenges? Would you like to support your health and energy from a product that people consistently feel the uplifting and health-building effects from the first day they consume it? I introduce you to Green Meadow Whey, the only whey protein powder from grass-pastured cows that is processed in a manner that ensures that the proteins and amino acids remain in their correct geometric shape that the body can use. The naturally occurring proteins, peptides, and amino acids in renatured whey are proven to support multiple aspects of human health, from complementing your immune system to neutralizing chronic inflammation to supporting detoxification to stabilization of blood sugar and more. Additionally, due to the Tesla-like frequencies encoded into Green Meadow Whey, it is a dramatic support for your energy and mood. And it is an excellent emergency preparedness food with well over a 5-year shelf life. To order, call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit greenmeadowwhey.com. greenmeadowwhey.com.
Of my pillow products and what this company, Mike Lindell, has built.
Grandpa. Oh, hey, Grandpa. Hey, Grandpa.
Yes, buddy?
Can you take me fishing this weekend?
I'd love to.
Have you noticed a change in your hearing over the years? Missing the little things in life? Visit Beneficial Hearing in Ocala today. Their expert team of audiologists will make sure you never miss a moment. Call Beneficial Hearing today at 352-629-4418 or visit them online, beneficialhearing.com.
You're getting ready to move and you work hard. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. You need pros. Trained professional moving experts to do the heavy lifting for you. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. They care about your things as much as you do, and they do it fast and right. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. Visit twomeninatruck.com and get moving.
2 Men in a Truck.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
People ask me why I've worked at Palm Garden for so long, and I tell them it's the people. I love to hear the life stories, especially those from the greatest generation. Celebrating life stories is what sets Palm Garden apart, finding out what's important to them. And I love being a resource. Like Macy's Santa, if I can't help, I'll send them to Gimbel's. After all, Palm Garden is located on 34th Street. I'm Jan from Palm Garden. Call me and let's chat. 854-6262.
Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are